All right, guys, welcome. Travis. Tonight, we are going to be talking our top picks for kayak fishing gear. I think we'll just go ahead and lead out. I definitely want to hear from the chat on some of your items as well, but I'm going to start out with what I think is the most important thing. You're never going to see me in the kayak without it. Throughout the whole time I've been kayaking, I always have this with me, and it is a PFD. So currently, I'm using a Stolquist PFD. It's new this year, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. I do know from the 2 times that I've been out with it on, it's super comfortable. But she has a PFD as well, and I know that's one of her items. Hers is Magellan for the previous 4 years in a kayak total. I had a Magellan PFD as well, which is Academy brand. For those of you that don't have Academy, it's just a sporting goods store. And they make some awesome PFDs for a good price. So
I will say, though, they do not make Life Vest very lady-friendly. They're harder to wear. So I'd like to find one more like that. So if any women are watching and they have better suggestions, I would love to hear those. I've looked at the skinnier ones, but I don't know. They're kind of expensive just to try.
Yeah, I do know that NRS has the NRS Chinook. The Chinook is a very popular one, but the Chinook is their spin on it for women's PFDs. So, Jeremy said he uses the Stolquist also and likes it. I'm very happy with it so far. I'm excited to really put some use in it this year. Again, the Magellan one I had was very comfortable, so I have no complaints about it for, 4 years in it. Yeah, the inflatables. So I know a lot of people do use the inflatables as well. I'm not gonna recommend something that has a mechanical function that could essentially go wrong, but I know that's better than not having a PFD at all. They are legal in all the tournaments that I fish. So if that's your recommendation to go with an inflatable, go for it. I know that might be her choice. She might choose to go with an inflatable, and that's fine. I love having the standard foam PFD. If I fall out of the kayak, which I have done, if I fall out of the kayak, I know that it's there to save me, whether I hit my head or anything like that, and nothing should be able to go wrong with it. Again, I know a lot of people that wear them. I know a lot of people that fish the tournaments I fish that wear them. So not hating on them by any means. If that's your way of getting out and being safe, wear it. Go out with a piece of safety gear. To me, the PFD is the most important thing. If you look at our first few videos together, she did not have one on. I harped on her a little bit about it several times, but ultimately I said, hey, it's your choice on whether you do it or not. She ended up deciding to make the choice to start wearing one. Very happy that she did. And, she's found one that's a little more comfortable than what she started out with. But hopefully she can find one that fits her right, that is super comfortable. Because, when you're talking about tournament fishing, 8+ hours, sometimes we're on the water 10 hours for a tournament. You need something that's going to be comfortable. So that's definitely important. But the most important is being safe, whether you're comfortable or not.
I don't know. I'm a pretty confident swimmer. So when we first went out a few times, obviously if you hit your head, you hit your head. But I was just pretty confident. And there was 2 of us, not one of us, So there's something went wrong. There was another person out there too. So I just didn't really see the need. Anytime we've been kayaking, I have one in the boat with me. But then we took our kids with us. And so I wore it for them. And then just realized probably should wear it. There's been a lot of kayakers that have drowned this year. They obviously weren't wearing one. So decided to go ahead and stick with it and wear it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in, all right.
Hi,
Thanks
Trevor.
for joining, Trevor. I appreciate it. So, yeah, they're in esports matches down at his school right now. He's a teacher.
Oh.
So, Trevor, you're a teacher down in Texas. Travis, that fishing noob, is as well. So, you guys should check out his channel for sure. But yeah, so wearing a PFD, I feel is very, very important. I'm not going to go out without it. I love the fact that most tournaments require you to wear one. So if you don't have one on, you're not going to be able to qualify for a tournament. So that's something, again, that she had to get familiar with wearing one because she was going to be tournament fishing with me. So on to the next piece of gear. I'll let her give hers. And I totally agree with this piece. I see it in her hand right now. And these are a couple items. She got 2 items in her hand
which
right
one?
now. And these are a couple items that I actually had on my list as well. So I'm totally agreeing with her. These are important items to have. But some of the gear, I did want to touch on one more thing. Some of the gear that we're going to talk on is going to be more tournament specific, or at least some of the gear I'll talk on will be more tournament specific. You don't have to have these things, but if you're a tournament fisherman, there's something that you want to have. But yeah, I'll let her go ahead and take over on the next one.
Once again, he was threw out this idea, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I have like 5 things on my kayak. So my top kayak gear is everything on my boat. So, but I guess I'll go with this one because it's probably what he was talking about. First is our, hi Josh, is this Rogue Tether, right? It's Rogue Tether. Yeah.
Yep.
Phone tether. And the reason why is because we actually got it a little too late, and it's actually his fault. So I get to blame him because he knew I needed one and he didn't get me one. So it's his fault technically. But one of the first few times we were out, I had put my phone I didn't have this yet. I had put my phone in my pocket and we had literally just launched into the water and I heard a splash and somehow it like just slipped right out of my pocket and right into the lake. I know I'm getting ready to message. My kids are messaging me.
Yeah. So if the kids pop in, just be prepared for it. It may happen sooner tonight than what it's happened any of the previous ones.
But yeah, it plopped right into the water. I turned, seen it, watched it sink, and there was literally nothing I could do. And I mean, it's super important if anybody watches Christine Fisher, right?
Yeah.
She just recently had to go swimming for about 30 minutes in alligator or I don't know, whichever one, infested water in Florida. And to find her phone, because if you are in a tournament, you have to have your phone to submit your fish. So this helps keep it in. The newer version is actually really cool. I really want to upgrade to it because it goes inside your phone case, and then this won't ever get in the way of your camera. So these are super great. I keep it attached to my life vest. And yeah,
Rogue Tether, definitely highly recommended. I know Trevor actually said he has a lot of extra tethers, and that's something I had actually had written down as an item, is not just the phone tether, having tethers. For me, if it doesn't float, I have it tethered in my kayak. That goes for my fishing rods, that goes for my catch board, which is something I'll be mentioning in a little bit. But anything that doesn't float is tethered to my kayak. I bought a cheap pack of tethers from Amazon. Again, cheap, just a few dollars for a pack of like 10 tethers, and I put them on anything that I feel like needs to be tethered. I've done that with some of my tackle boxes as well. The ones that I use now actually do pretty well about floating, at least for short term. Ultimately, if I lose a tackle box, I lose a tackle box. It's not something I want to lose, but it's not something that I really have to have a tether for. But my fishing rods, when you have a few $100s in a fishing rod and reel, you don't want to lose one of those. The catch board, when you're a tournament angler, you need your catch board or else you can't score your fish. So really important things. And of course the phone, for multiple reasons why you're going to want your phone on you. If you are tournament fishing, you got to have your phone to take pictures. And then obviously, again, falls into that safety reason. Making sure you have a tether on your phone is important. I strongly recommend the Rogue Tether. I know there are a few other phone tethers that are out there. The Rogue Tether has been tried and it's trusted by me. I've put it through a lot. I actually had one start to wear out after 3 years of using it. Reached out to Rogue and said, hey, my tether is still really good. Just the silicone that actually goes around your phone is starting to peel a little bit. And they ended up telling me, hey, I can't remember what it was. It was a few dollars to get a replacement. So yeah, Trevor said he's a witness to someone losing a metal catchboard into Gunnersville. And
that would make
it
for
wasn't his.
A bad tournament.
Was that Jermaine? I know Jermaine knocked his off, and he put a little video of him knocking it off. So it happens a lot. So Paul Claspel says he uses paracord and clips for tethers, and that's fine. Like whatever you have to, yeah, it was Jermaine. Whatever you have to keep your gear in your kayak, or if you lose it, to get it right back up. It's very important having something to tether to your kayak. So yeah, next, again, this is another item that I had on mine, so I'll let her go ahead and show what she has.
I feel so basic because everybody watching has like way more experience than me. And so it just feel, I don't know, I feel like I should not be doing this tonight. I should probably be listening to you guys. But obviously it's my pliers because I need those. I'm not going to unhook a fish without them. And once again, has a tether on it. So it's right there in my pocket always. And my girl Emma got them for me when I first started. So I don't know.
Yeah. Pliers are important. Anybody who's had fish that, I mean, sometimes the hook gets in a fish and it's rough to get out.
Or in your own hand.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing I say. So sometimes it's hard to get it out of a fish. Having a pair of pliers is good. Sometimes you end up getting a hook in yourself. And I had that happen several times last year. And definitely my pliers came in handy for me because especially the one where it was in my Achilles heel. I would not have wanted to fish the rest of the day with that hook down there, just kind of moving around the whole time. So getting my pliers and popping that out was really important. Having pliers is important on the boat. You don't have to have anything fancy. I've got a cheap pair that I've had for years, and they do the job. They're in one of my PFD pockets. So every time my PFD is on me, I've got my pliers with me.
Sharing a leaderboard. It sucks.
Yes. Sharing a board is tough. Very tough thing. So I know the feeling of that, Trevor. We've done that before.
Josh says his floats.
Yeah, yes. So the Yak Attack leaderboard does float. I guess I'll go ahead and throw out there. That's my next item is a catch board. So I've been fishing with a catch board since I bought my first measuring board. And when I say catch, I don't mean CATCH. It's KETCH. It's the brand Catch. And I love my catch board. I've been using it, like I said, for I think 3.5 years, something like that. And they're great boards. Trust them. They're able to be used in any tournament that I've fished and any tournament that I know of. You can use a catch board. Yak Attack leaderboard are another board that are great. I love Yak Attack gear. My only complaint about the leaderboard myself is it's quite a bit bigger, as in like it's a wider board than what the catch board is. So if you want to try the Yak Attack, go for it. It's a really nice board. I love the mirror tape the mirror that they have on the end of it. I think that's an awesome idea. I think it really shows that fish's closed mouth and shows that the fish is up against that bump board really well. So I think that is such an awesome idea that Yak Attack put in. Again, swear by Yak Attack gear. I've got a few Yak Attack items that I'll talk in a little bit. But yeah, I personally prefer the catch board. So that's my go-to. Another thing I'm going to say on the safety related items is a knife. I have a knife on my PFD. She does not have one yet, but I have a knife on my PFD.
He doesn't trust me with
I
one.
swear by having a knife on me at all times. That's literally at all times I have a knife on me. Most of the time I have 2 knives on me. So in the kayak, I have a pocket knife and a knife on the PFD. And that is for like if something happens, you fall into the water, get tangled in braided line, you're not breaking braided line with your hands. Get that knife out and cut yourself free. I know people who have had to do it. It's very important to have with you. And I always have multiple knives on me. So if one fails, I've got another one to get to. I'll go ahead and name another piece of gear that I keep on my PFD. I guess I shouldn't have put my PFD down yet. But some kind of line cutters. These are the Boomerang Tool Company. I can't remember exactly what they're called. I know some people go by the line cutters brand as well. I think they're a good one too. I prefer the long nose snips from Boomerang Tool Company. These are not the long nose that I have currently, but these work as well. The long nose are just a little bit easier. They're, you you have a longer pair of essentially scissors to be able to cut your braided line. They cut braided line easily. I've used scissors. I mean, I've got a pair of school scissors in my other kayak that I have with me at all times. If I need to use scissors, I'll use them. But yeah, those snips, they're perfect. The only complaint I'll make on the Boomerang Tool Company snips is the little kind of carabiner that they come with. I've had it come off a couple times. I've lost one while I was waiting in Branson, Missouri. I just came back from waiting and I looked down and I was like, well, where is my set of snips? I walked back to the water. I couldn't find them anywhere in the water where I'd been. Not sure what happened, but yeah, so that's something that I highly recommend, having a pair of snips especially for braided line. I mean, you can cut you can cut monofilament, fluorocarbon with about anything, but braided line, having a good set of snips is very important. Scissors work for braided line, but snips are way better.
Do it again anyways. Why not? So my track pack, I love it. Actually, I would prefer it in orange. So if anybody has an orange one and wants to trade for the green, it would go better with my kayak, my new one. But anyways, I love it. I have two layers, and each one has, my 2 layers in it. It's somewhat organized. I don't have very good hand things, but keeps everything right up front and center, so I can switch lures really easily. I don't know. It's pretty convenient for me. Like I said, I don't have anything behind me, so it's super helpful to keep all that right there until I get something back there too.
Yeah, and she was talking about not having anything behind her, as in a black pack. So she's debating on whether she makes the.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, what's up, man? It's really good to have you on the live.
Yeah.
I think you need to get on with JT and do a live again. I was thinking about that today. Like, you guys do such a good job going live. I know that you have struggling with internet out there, just like we're having today. Hey, what's up, Jay? Good to see you on here, man. So, but I would love to see you on a live again, Jeremy. You guys do awesome together on those. So maybe you can make a trip up to CJT and jump on his internet and do a live. But yeah, so she was talking about using the track packs and not having a black pack or anything like that.
Which even if I had one, I would still want this because I can keep the main ones I plan on using that day.
Yeah, it's nice having your lures still close to you, even if you don't have, or even if you do have a black pack. That's what I was actually talking to Paul today. Paul said, keeping my lures in the black pack because I'm so used to on the Vibe. Biggest thing I'll say about the Vibe from being in it to the Bonafide, one of the things that I miss is I had spots right by my seat where I could have 2 3600 boxes.
So
I've got to figure out exactly where I'm putting my lures that I am going to use most frequently right by me. There is quite a bit of space underneath the seat. I really need to get a junk drawer for it. I think that would be pretty cool. And I think I could probably fit a 3600 in a junk drawer. So that would be okay. I need something that I can keep my boxes closer to me though. But yeah, so she's talking about potentially getting a source crate because when we went to Tennessee, I'm pretty positive his name was Josh as well.
I couldn't remember.
But we got to meet him, and he just kind of walked us through the source crate. He walked us through why he made it, how he made it. He showed us his that had been, through a lot of abuse and still in great shape. And
I said I'm a sucker for small businesses and
yes,
good customer service. And he was super kind, was willing to sit there and talk, about his product. And you could tell he was very passionate about it. So that's why I'm very much thinking about that. The only thing that kind of like makes me not so sure about that one is it doesn't have a top. I like the top on the black pack.
Yeah, so he uses like a mesh netting top for his. But yeah, like she said, when you walk up to him, you could see the passion in him about his kayak. So that was exciting. Seeing him, talk about his product, go over it all the way. So it was really good. I'll say I definitely would like to get. He's got
Does he?
some
I don't know.
that bolts onto the seat, and they are really nice.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
Jeremy said he
cool.
makes a top for it as
And
well.
he's coming out with accessories for it. You know, he makes it all.
If you watch my video, the one that he has on his Crescent Trolley seat, where it's got one of his panels on it, and he's got like all of his little attachments on it. That's really nice. I think that is probably something that, even though I use the Blackpak, I would probably get that for my seat. So that's something I've already thought about reaching out to him on custom making that for my seat.
Yeah, I like his catchboard holder too.
Yeah.
Although
it's really
I don't know,
nice.
I don't know that I would like having it behind me. I don't know. It's all new. Figuring out in the pedal kayak, there's a lot less space right in front of me, so that's going to be kind of interesting to figure all of that stuff out.
And that source crate is light. Like, it is light. If you pick it up compared to a Blackpak, it is quite a bit lighter. And I mean, it's thin aluminum, so it's really nice. Definitely something that I would be interested in as well. But I love my Blackpak. I'd have a hard time switching over to it, but having some of his extra gear that he makes would be cool. Again, he's a great guy. You can see the passion in him. He cares about what he makes, and he wants people to like it. If I was going to go with foot controlled steering, he makes some awesome foot controlled steering as well. I got to check those out, and I've been following him on TikTok for a little while, and he's got some pretty good videos on there where it shows, I mean, coming back covered in sand, and the foot steering still just gliding along without any problems. So the next thing I'm going to mention is a net. A net it's not something that everybody wants. I know some people fish without a net. Some people fish without a net and they do a great job with it. Sometimes I will say a net has cost me catching a fish. I can't say that hasn't happened. 99% of the time though, having a net has paid off for me. So most of the time when I miss a fish, it's because I didn't get my net to it. Sometimes you pull out the net a little early, and end up losing a fish because of that. But most of the time, having that net has been very key for me. Some people do not like fishing with a net. They just like boat flipping everything.
Or grabbing it with their hands. They were
Yeah,
talking about it on live earlier.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of having a net, scooping it up. I know some of the fish that I have, especially on BFS gear, there's no way I'm boat flipping them. I mean, I'm not boat flipping a 4.5 pounder on the BFS. It's just not going to happen. So
they were also talking
the
about
net's really nice.
Having the net behind you instead of in front of you, because if you lean forward, then sometimes you lose your slack and then it comes off.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about figuring it out. You've got to spend some time with it to get it down. I mean, again, I've lost fish because of my net, but I feel pretty confident with my net, and I feel like it saves me more fish than what it's lost.
I've got to net one whole fish, so I don't have very much experience there.
Yeah, she'll get some more experience this year. If everything works out tomorrow, guys, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. If everything works out, we're going to be on the water. And I actually did check. Yeah, I actually did check out the water today because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't still iced over. I know on the weekend it was, and there was open water. The kayak launch is free, so the trailer will come with me to work tomorrow, and we will definitely try to get out. I am really looking forward to getting out on our home lake. Our home lake just now opened up. They closed down for waterfowl season. So it has been
3 whole days.
Fishing the whole weekend, Daniel says. 3 whole days. That's awesome. Yeah, our home lake's been closed down since the beginning of December. And I mean, it's been cold. we've not really had much time on the water. We've been out twice this year. And I've been out twice this year. She's been out once this year. And we're ready to get back on the water. And I cannot wait to catch some fish. Like, really hoping to get on some big fish soon.
Yeah, I was actually watching.
Man, I am more than happy with just some dinks. I need a bass in the boat. I need, especially the new kayak. I got to get the new kayak slimed up, guys. Let's get out there. Let's get some fish going.
I was watching JT's live on how to catch fish, it wasn't live, obviously, but his podcast he did with Wendell on how to catch fish in March. So I'm hoping to actually get some in the boat.
Yeah. So if you guys were going out tomorrow, what would you be throwing?
Yeah, tell me.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I've got a jerkbait tied on.
That's what I was thinking.
Also planning on tying on a Texas rig. Travis's ears may be burning. He may jump on just to comment on here, but rage bug, Jeremy says. So yeah, I know Jeremy knows a little bit about Texas rigs, so he might say the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna tie on a Texas rig tomorrow and gonna work on trying to fish that some. Tube and a Ned. Yeah, I've got Neds ready as well. I actually don't have any tubes right now, which is funny because a tube is something I've always loved to fish. And that came from being a crappie fisherman. So I like fishing a tube. And I've seen big bass caught on a tube. My 7-year-old, I have a video of him last year where we were out and he caught a lot of fish over a few hours of fishing, and everything he caught was on a tube. So it's something I swear by, and I'll give it to my kids and feel like they can fish it and catch fish on them as well.
See, yeah, I wasn't really sure what to fish because it's been freezing, but now it's in the 60s. So I'm curious to know what the water temperature is.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have my fish finder rigged up on the new kayak yet. And that's something else I guess I'll throw out here. I do want to say for you guys that are just getting into kayak fishing or thinking about getting into kayak fishing, the gear that we're recommending is gear that works for us that we've already had experience with on the water. For the first quite a few times on the water, I didn't have anything added to my kayak besides a rod holder. Then slowly started adding things as I spent more time in the kayak. Spend time in your boat. Get familiar with your boat, and then you'll decide, hey, I really could use a rod holder right here, and that's when you'll add a rod holder. I really could use a Blackpak or some kind of crate, and that's when you'll go with adding a crate. She mentioned the track packs. That's something actually, thank you, Paul. Paul just hooked me up with a track pack, made a trade because I don't need a cup holder. That's something I don't have like any need for. Again, I'm going to have a couple bottles of water with me. Now I know Paul uses his kind of as an extra lure keeper, but I don't need a cup holder. So a cup holder is not something I need. I had a cup holder. He had a track pack he didn't need, so we made a trade. So I'm going to have a track pack on my kayak that I can get to, and mine's going to be used as a little tackle box that, again, is close to my seat. It gives me something right there.
If you keep it empty and don't put the middle drawer, it holds snacks too. So no, I haven't got one yet. I haven't. I was hoping you'd win one at the championship. Yeah, they're giving away. I was like, come on.
That would have been nice. They gave away a couple.
But it didn't happen. So we'll see. I don't necessarily know that I really need one yet at this point because I don't have just a ton of stuff, but I'm getting more and more as it goes. So I'm kind of the new fisherman he's talking about that is just out there and seeing what I need as I go, which was one of the things was I didn't have a rod holder. I know, he's a slacker. Just kidding. But anyways, I was out there, and this was, I think, before I even got a true fishing kayak, and I was like looking at his rod holder with envy because I'm like sticking it anywhere, like laying it down, I don't know, holding it in one hand, paddling with the other. So I was like, I need a rod holder. Like, come on. So he did get me one of those.
Yeah.
But it's so convenient. Help keeps things out of the way, lines from getting tangled and all that stuff.
You're right. Kayla needs a Blackpak. She's not sold on the Blackpak being the one that she's going to go with, but she definitely needs something, some kind of crate for sure.
Eventually. The other problem is we have 4 kids who all just had birthdays and we just had Christmas we just fixed my shop up. And so
love my Yak Attack gear. Yak Attack is not the cheapest. I hate to say it because they just did a 30% on Amazon. I noticed 30% off. I think it may still be going on. If you guys are looking for anything Yak Attack wise, jump on Amazon right now. I think they've still got 30% on any other stuff.
Yeah, obviously it's just not something I'm in a hurry about. Y'all are gonna laugh. But the main reason why I wanted one is because his has stickers all over it. And I wanted his stickers.
Yeah, I do. That was my perfect spot to put stickers. I have a lot of stickers from a lot of different companies that I work with. I've got, the Freedom Squad stickers, stuff like that. Thanks, Jeremy, for hooking me up with a bunch of stickers when I fished with you.
Got some smelling.
I've got those on there. Got some from Achigan that I'm going to be slapping on there pretty soon. I've got Midwest Kayak Company, my buddy James's company, kayak business that he owns. So I've got them on there. Again,
ouch.
all my companies I work with, I've got 12 Oaks Custom. I've got Yak rods on there. I have Dad Fish Tackle, of course. I've got tons of stickers on there, and I'll be adding more. There's a lot of room on a Blackpak, so you can fit a lot of stickers on there. So that's nice. It of course says Yak Attack on it. I love my Yak Attack gear. She was talking about fishing rod holders. So with my past kayak, the Vibe Sea Ghost, love the kayak. One of the really nice things about it is, there is room that I could keep a fishing rod in between my legs at all times. So it's really awesome having that there. And I always kept a rod there. Now, with my current kayak having a pedal drive, there is not a spot for a rod between my legs. Now, I think I've seen Wendell actually took a he got a paddle holder and got it threaded for the top of the propel drive, and he has that there, and he can keep a rod right there.
Oh, that
so
one.
That might be something that I'm going to look at, because it would be really nice to still have a rod between my legs. I hate not having one there. And 4 years of being in the same kayak, that's one of those things that it's going to take me some getting used to. Even though this kayak is a huge upgrade for me, it's going to take me some getting used to.
Hi, Mike.
Mike, welcome. Thank you very much for joining tonight.
Which, I mean, it's not necessarily the same style of rod holder, but Yak Gadget has a really cool one that instead of holding them straight up and down, it's kind of like a paddle holder, but it's horizontal. Rods. It's pretty cool. That's the word.
Yeah, horizontal rod storage. That's something really nice.
It's pretty cool.
Think when we go on a river, that would be huge, having horizontal rod storage. My kayak actually has some, so that's going to be really nice. I'm going to try to utilize that some, but I won't have as many rods with me in a river as what I do on the lakes, because trees and stuff like that, you've got the fear of snagging up in something, and you can't just stop. You're drifting down the river. So VAR makes an attachment for the top of the pedal drive for rods and accessories. Okay, so that's something. Kayla is in an old town, so that's something nice to know. I know that there are some that make them for the Bonafide and the Native as well, because they use the same drive. Bonafide uses Native's propel drive. So that's something I definitely would like to add. So the rod holder that she uses, it's a Yakattack Omega rod holder, and I have the same one on my kayak. I only have one on there. I've not had, again, I kept a rod between my leg, so I would keep one there, one between my legs. And up until I got the Blackpak, I would just put one in each of my rear rod holders. So I would have up to 4 rods with me. Now I have three rod holders on my Blackpak. I've got 2 rear rod holders. I've got that one. And then I still, if I can, keep one between my legs.
We just upgraded.
Yeah. So Scott, I've been in a Vibe Sea Ghost 110 for 4 years now. I've got some videos on my channel if you want to check those out. It's been a great kayak for me. I have no hate against the Vibe. I know, some people aren't a big fan of them, say that they don't have the best customer service. When I've dealt with them, they've been good. But I just made an upgrade, and so did she. So she's been in a few different kayaks over the last year. She's only been fishing with me for a year. If you go back and watch some of my videos, you'll see the first one that she actually fishes with me. And you'll see as she starts to develop the love for fishing that she has now, and starting to learn. She learned a lot about bass fishing and about kayak fishing over the last year. So she's been in like 4 different kayaks over this year. With her most recent one being starting in 25, I got a Bonafide P127, and she got an Old Town 106 PDL. So We're both in pedal drive kayaks. Really excited to be in pedal drives.
Not really got to use them, so.
Yeah. She's had hers out on the water once. I've had mine out on the water twice. But the first time, I literally had 50 yards of open water and was surrounded by ice. I actually went through and busted some ice just to be able to have a little bit more water
It was a little
to pedal around in. So, yeah. So, loving those kayaks so far. Really, really excited to get out there and spend some time in it. Definitely need to put a fish in both of our new boats and slime them up a little bit. You know, they need to see fish. So hopefully the next time out we can get on some. If not, we're still going to be out there trying. That's the big thing.
Just excited to get back out.
Oh yeah, lake. Yeah. It's so exciting knowing our lake's open back up, and it is exciting that
we're only a month away from
warm
the first,
weather is coming.
Grubby tournament.
Yeah. So for those of you that are in the Indiana area, Grubby is my favorite series to fish.
That's what I got too.
I think. Yeah. PDL 106. Yep, exactly. So Grubby is my favorite to fish. It's got some local tournaments at our local lake. So that's what's really nice. They're the first tournament that I had experience with. And I'm still going to fish every one of the bluegrass events. Pending, fishing some others throughout the year. Hoping to fish the tournament. Kind of came at a hard time for us this year. Came while she's going to be at the Indiana Covered Bridge Festival.
Super sad because I was going to make it to where I could be at the championship, and they put it right in the middle of Covered Bridge. But October is just a tough month for me.
October is a tough month. So, hoping to make that one myself. It's going to be really hard. I'm sure that I can get my parents to watch the kids during that time, but
they already come in the next weekend.
Yeah, so. It makes it really, really tough. But yeah, I love fishing Grubby. I'm really hoping to fish some SIAC events, Southern Indiana Yak Anglers Club. They have one at Linville Lake, which Linville, I've not had luck on catching fish out there. I've caught some here and there, but not very many. But it's a beautiful lake here in Indiana, and it's, again, pretty close to me. And they have a few others that aren't too far out of reach. So I'd like to fish at least a couple of those. I'm going to sign up for, they do one that's, I think it kicks off the 1st of next month, and then it goes through, I think, November, and it's the American Legacy Big Bounty, and it's your Big 7 bass for the year. So I'll be fishing that, and then fishing the Catch 22 through KBF. That one's a lot of fun. I've got to get her to join KBF and sign up for that one too. It's your 22 longest fish for the whole year. That one's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it last year. I ended up hitting 393 inches. So my goal is to pass that, of course, but I would like to make it over 400 inches. My smallest bass in my 22 was 16 inches. So want to pass that 16 incher, make it to where none of my fish are under 17 inches this year. Would love to end it that way. I'll be happy. And of course, hoping for some PBs along the way.
I was thinking about that one too. I was curious about doing that one, possibly depending on dates.
Make sure, again, this is going podcast form, so make sure you speak on it. So SIAC has one that's going to be in May at Patoka Lake, which is a big lake here in Indiana. I am terrible at Patoka. Josh,
I've asked him to go to Patoka several times, and he's like, "No,
I like Patoka.
We're not going to
Patoka is a beautiful lake. Like, it's an absolutely gorgeous lake.
I've asked several times,
but
I'm just saying.
It is brutal to fish. She's never fished it. So she can say what she wants about Patoka. She's been up there and had fun on the lake. Fishing Patoka, like, I would rather fish Lake Monroe.
We fished it that one time we went. We were in a boat, though. On a pontoon boat.
Okay, I didn't remember you fishing it with us. But yeah, I've been up there a lot. I have caught a ton of pumpkin seed panfish out there, If you want to go out and catch panfish, put me on Patoka Lake and I will tear them up. I've caught some walleye out there. I just cannot catch bass out there. So we'll see. We may make it up there this year and go out there and have fun.
I was going to say, just go have fun.
Oh yeah, and that's what it is. I don't fish these tournaments knowing I'm going to win. I fish them to have fun.
Not going to lie.
But it is going to be cool
to win one. rub it in everybody's. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I've got big goals this year, but you can check out my goals video for those. I'll talk about
We got way off
what
topic.
I want to see. So going back into what we started this video on is gear that we have with our kayak. So something that we did talk a little bit earlier, this isn't something that I'll say is 100% necessary, but it's something that as I'm, working on my channel, this channel, I'm wanting to continue to do different things to bring in another audience, to bring in, like, it's really big to me to build a relationship with the people that are watching my videos. I love these lives. We've been doing them for a couple months now, and I love the interaction that we have. I want to build a community, and something that I want to do some is doing some live streams on the water. So I'm going to throw in some honorable mentions in, not something that I have to have on the kayak with me every time, but it's something that I enjoy having. So I did add this. It's a Yak Attack phone holder.
I want one of these too.
Something that it actually has a tether on it as well. So we talked about tethers earlier. I swear by the Rogue phone tether. I've used this a couple times. I do like how it fits as well. It's Yak Attack. I trust Yak Attack. They make some good stuff. They make a phone holder, a tether that is like the other one that she said from Rogue as well. So you actually put it under your phone case. We really need to get a tether that style, so you don't have to snap it around your phone case. But
I don't mind it, but sometimes it does get in that. But I mean,
you gotta move it out of the way of your camera for taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Which, again, if you're a tournament angler, that's another step in a process that you've got your fish on the board and you're ready to measure it, and you may have to move that. For those of you that have fished very much, especially tried to tournament fish, you know how easy it is for a fish to flop off of there. So, hey, Wade Life, nice to have you on here tonight. So, yeah, so I really like this so far. If I go out tomorrow, I'll probably do a live on the water. I don't know if I'll lead out with a live on the water or if I'll kind of finish our day up with a live on the water.
Probably depends on how the day goes.
So, ultimately, but I think I want to start doing more of those. Again, I like building a community. I like how much interaction we have with these lives. So that's my first of honorable mentions. Another thing, so it's really important for a tournament angler to have their phone on them, and their phone has to stay charged. So keep a battery pack on you. I've been using a battery pack for quite a while now. I just recently added this. This is a Aqua battery pack. I think it's called a stash pack, or maybe that's just this piece. I can't remember exactly what this battery pack is, but again, made by Aqua. I like it because it's got this on it, and you can actually fit. There's a little pouch on the back side of it. You can fit a charging cable in it. And when I got this, I got it with a 4-pack. It's got, like, I can't even remember what this is actually called, but it's got your different heads for charging whatever you want to charge. It's got USB-C, it's got an iPhone charger, and it's got the micro USB, and then it's got your USB that actually plugs into it. So I keep a couple different charging cords with me. And again, because I use my phone for tournament fishing, you have to have your phone have batteries. And sometimes we're in some, terrible spots for signal, which runs your GPS, and you have to have GPS location on. So you're going to run dead a whole lot faster. So it's really nice having that. I charge my phone with it, and I can run a battery or run a GoPro off of it, which, again, for you, those of you that aren't doing YouTube, aren't doing video, that's fine. You don't have to. I like it. I've really enjoyed videoing myself out there. Go back and see what I've done wrong when I have failures, and go back and see how I did something right. I feel like I've learned a lot from my time in YouTube, and having something to power your cameras is really important. Running just on the standard GoPro batteries works, but it is not preferred. You will have a lot of overheating issues, and you'll have other issues with the GoPros.
Yeah.
So definitely having a separate source for powering your GoPros is good. really enjoying that Aqua so far. I really want to get one of their bigger battery packs and actually hardwire stuff in so I can just USB straight to them. And I'll have it, just mounted into the kayak. Next, I'm going to mention what we talked earlier, and that is a Blackpak or some kind of crate. Whatever kind of crate works best for you, that's fine. I love the Blackpak. I like the locking lid on it. So when number one, it's got corner attachments for it, so you can strap it in. I always have it strapped into my kayak through the bungees on the back of my kayak. Along with, I tether it as well because, like Josh said earlier, they're like $175. A lot of money, big investment. If I flip the kayak over, I'm not losing that. So it's really important to have that tethered in some way. And that's my way of doing it. I have it strapped in and tethered. But yeah, so that locking lid is really nice. If you do something to turn over, all of your gear is staying inside of the Blackpak. So that's really awesome. I know she had talked about the source crate.
I think we needed the tether.
Jeremy had said,
we need to tether your shoes so you don't lose it.
Yeah, Jeremy said that the source crate has a lid on it as well. So that might be something that if Kayla does go with the source crate, she'll definitely want a lid. So yeah, having something that holds your gear. So I don't have it with the gear that I like use all the time. It's more extra stuff. I keep a first aid kit in there. I keep extra reels. I keep extra line. I keep my jig box that is completely packed full of bladed jigs and spinner baits and stuff that I don't need right now because I keep some in my box right next to me. But if I break off enough, I'm going to need to get into that at some point. And, I keep my lures that I want a lot of repeats of are going to be in my Blackpak. So it's going to have all my extra stuff in it. She mentioned shoes. Sometimes I'll keep my shoes in it. I've actually got to the point where the shoes I have now.
Hey, girl.
Teresa, welcome. So yeah, the shoes I have now, they tie, and I don't have any issues with keeping them on my feet. But I have lost multiple pairs of sandals and flip-flops.
I was just giving you a hard time.
So it is what it is with that. The shoes I have now, they're Witten barefoot shoes, and I really like them. I've been using them for a year now, and yeah, when I get another pair, I'm just going to buy another pair of those. They've been excellent. They're super comfortable. They're barefoot shoes, so they don't feel like you have shoes on, but they have soles because my feet are sensitive. And when you go wading or anything like that, step on rocks, you don't have any issues. When you're loading and unloading at a boat ramp, you step on a hook, you still got a sole there to keep it from just going straight in your foot. So, and where we load and unload most of the time, I don't hardly hit any ramps. Like most of the time, it's off the ramp somewhere. And where we load and unload a lot, you'll see broken glass and everything. So, yeah, so it's to me, having a good pair of shoes is really important as well. That wasn't on my list, but I actually did pick my shoes out earlier and get them out to my truck just in case I go tomorrow, because it's really important to have my shoes that I need to have for
Teresa,
kayaking.
will we see you out on bluegrass this week? It's nice. I know you've been ready to go. She went hiking the other day.
Yeah. I seen that video that she posted.
It's pretty.
She's been fishing a lot. I see that she's got some fish on the board for catch 22.
Oh yeah, and I heard she said that she's in it to win it.
Yes, I saw Chad comment on JT's live that he said he had talked to you and you said you were going to give the Indiana people a run for their money.
I have no doubt.
I believe it. You've caught some great fish, and I am super excited to fish with you.
Yeah.
Again, being new to tournament angling, it's a lot of fun. I've had such a blast. I'm telling you, the local tournaments that you'll fish, you're going to enjoy them because there are awesome people out there. Now, I won't lie, there are some that you may run into that are not the best at at talking to you, not the most friendly, but 99% of them are. Anybody that I've ran
Paul
into
is
out
not.
there
Don't try to talk to Paul.
is awesome. Yeah, if you run into Paul, you just gotta watch that guy. No, Paul is great. Paul is one of those guys that if he's catching something on a lure and you're like, hey, what are you catching them on? And you don't have one, he would give you his lure and let you help you catch some too.
Okay.
Great guy. Really appreciate my friendship with him out there. You know, I met him through a Kayak Fishing Dads meetup. So I know Jay was on here earlier. Jay, you know, let me put on a Kayak Fishing Dads meetup. I really appreciate him doing that because I met some awesome people on there and made some true friendships out of that meetup. Still talk to several of the guys that fished out there. I know some of them have gotten out of kayak fishing since then, but still talk to several of them. And one of them, along with Paul, I plan on fishing with again sometime very soon. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I have to wait till it's warmer for him. He said he's not getting out until March. Well,
Wade Life.
I guess it's almost March. Never mind.
Never mind. March is next week.
I don't know what date it is.
Wade Life said he should have his Native Slayer PDL or pedal LTE in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's exciting, man. That's an awesome kayak. Seen that one at the Tennessee show that me and you were both at. It's an awesome kayak. Heard great things about it. Paul, I'm not going to make the announcement, but Paul's got something pretty sweet coming in too, and I'm excited to see that in person. So Teresa said she signed up for the March State Catch 5.
I can't read the comments.
All right. So another thing I'm going to throw out there that I think is really important. This is going to be it's a puppy. Yeah. Paul has a puppy on the way. If you guys don't know what that means, all of my teasers about the kayak, the new kayaks that we received, he was commenting on there about, you know, what kind of puppy did you guys get? So yeah, she was going to say it took forever. Yes, forever. I teased the kayaks for quite a while, but I wanted to wait until we had them out on the water.
I know.
It was important.
Yes.
So Jeremy said he'll be glad to get his PWR out of the kitchen with this warm-up. Oh, man, it's going to be nice out there, Jeremy. Right now, yeah, we feel it. Man, getting the Sea Ghost in that 11-foot kayak, that was not easy. So I'm sure getting that PWR in was not the most fun. And I'm sure, you know, going around that every day is probably a battle. Yeah, Jeremy's got an amazing kayak. That PWR is a sweet ride. She's gonna, when she sees it in person, she's gonna be pretty amazed by it too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I can keep up with you a little better now, Jeremy. Still not as fast. I'm not gonna hit no 6-7 mile an hour, but I can keep up with you a little better now because I'll be pedaling this year when we go out.
50-70s all week. Yep, we're gonna probably go tomorrow.
So the last item that I'm going to throw out there is some kind of soft plastics bag. I'll say that's something that I really just added over the last 6-7 months. And it was shortly after joining the Dad Fish Tackle group. So when I joined his pro staff, that's when I started actually getting a soft plastics bag. I think I picked it up right before the trip with Jeremy Hickman. So I really want to learn Texas rig. That's something I worked with him on. And I was like, well, I need to start actually carrying soft plastics because that's something that I never did. And so as I carried more soft plastics, I wanted to get a bag for holding them. The bags I use are KVD speed bags. I really like them. They hold a lot of soft plastics. I think they say 15 bags, but I've got like 25 in mine and they fit in there well. I don't have any issues going through it and getting out the ones that I need to get out. That fishing noob, Travis, he swears by these 6 cents bags. They're really nice as well. I've had a couple of those. So nothing against those either. For me, whichever ones are cheaper when I go to order some bags, that's the ones I'm going to go with. But I will say, Dust Off Fishing on Instagram, he actually just recently joined up with 6 cents on their pro staff, and he has a code for a discount. It's just Dust Off, capital DUSTOFF. check out his. And if you are ordering anything from 6 Cents, you might as well use his code. So he is an awesome guy. Been talking to him for a little while. It's kind of crazy having a guy that has like 70 some thousand followers following me on Instagram. And that when I reach out to him, he talks to me. Really cool guy. He's a veteran. I'm all for supporting veterans. Jeremy is a veteran. Trevor's a veteran. JT is a veteran. We've got a lot of veterans that I'm all for 100% supporting. Dust Off, great guy. I'm all for supporting him. Use his code on 6 Cents. I want to see the best for all these guys.
I think something that's going to be in my near future, and they'll probably be surprised that I'm even saying this, but it's definitely as I'm learning more about like bass behavior and things like that, and learning how important like water temperature and everything like that is, I really kind of starting to want my own fish finder. And I never really thought I would say that because I don't know. I just never really thought I would say that, but I'd kind of like one because I would love to know the water temperature and all that stuff because I've been trying to learn, trying to be a good student.
Yeah, I'm actually going to reach out to my buddy Philip. He actually, the last time I talked to him, he had a spare fish finder that
And
I was going to potentially get. So I need to talk to him again and see if he's still got that available. I wanted to wait until I had gotten my new kayak. I didn't want to put a new one on the Vibe, make an upgrade right away when I knew I was really starting to look pretty hard at getting a new kayak. So I told him kind of hold off, but yeah, I'm definitely planning on reaching out to him. I was actually thinking about that earlier. Well, it would have been last week. Earlier this week was yesterday.
He won't let
just
me.
peek at Chase's waypoints. I don't have any waypoints marked on there.
He hasn't done it. He hasn't used it a whole lot, to be honest.
I have. I had it on my kayak pretty much every time I was out since I installed it. But you guys know I got it for Father's Day. I also got appendicitis for Father's Day and was in the hospital for 7 days. Or I think I was in the hospital for 5 days total after having my appendix removed. So I had the fish finder as a present and appendicitis as a present.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had like 6 weeks of recovery time or whatever it ended up being that I couldn't get out on the water. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks that I couldn't get out on the water at all. And really the last thing I could do is go out and pick up my kayak and work on rigging it up and stuff. I mean, I was in a lot of pain, wasn't supposed to be lifting anything heavy. The first time I took my kayak out after recovering from that, I wasn't really supposed to. And then I had a follow-up appointment with the doctor, and he asked me how I was feeling and if I was getting around well. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting around pretty good. I said, I feel like I'm recovering well. And I said, sorry, would you have any issue with me making a trip to Missouri next week, which was the first kayak adventure series that I was competing in? And he was like, well, what are you doing? And I told him, I was going to be fishing a river in Missouri out of the kayak. And he was like, well, if you feel like you can do it, yeah, go for it. And I was like, well, I've already had my kayak out and I felt pretty good about it that day. And he was like, okay, well, if you feel like you can do it, go for it. So luckily I had friends there. If I would have had any issues, Daniel, James, and Roger were right there. They would have been there for me. But at that point, I was doing really well. So
Teresa said that she has one, but she doesn't really know what she's looking at. And I was gonna say it would probably take me a while. I don't know. I don't know who commented it, but somebody said, oh yeah, Wade Life said that it's mainly for water temp and all that good stuff. And that's mainly what I'm looking at it for. Just been watching some of those things and talking about
knowing your water temperature, knowing your depth. That's a big thing at bluegrass, knowing your depth. I mean, I know, again, Teresa, you're going to be fishing bluegrass. I mean, bluegrass goes, there are spots that you'll go from 4 to 5 feet deep, and within like 20 feet, you'll go from 4 to 5 feet deep to like 50 to 80 feet. I mean, it's kind of crazy the drop-offs that are out there. So knowing your depth is really nice. Like, I might be working a square bill and working one area really hard, and then all of a sudden go from having an area where a square bill would work to being super deep where there's no way it's going to work and not know it without having my fish finder on there to know that depth. So it is really nice.
Trevor says he has a hummingbird up for grabs. Is that the brand? I don't know the brands.
Yeah. Humminbird Helix 5. That's a good little unit. Definitely wouldn't be a bad one. So, and Trevor's going to be, obviously, we're going to want to add something before Wisconsin or before Minnesota, but Trevor's going to be joining us for Minnesota, and I think we're going to stay together. I think so. We got to make sure that we've got a place big enough for him as well.
I'm trying to get him to book something. I'm anxious about it.
we need to get it booked ASAP. So we need to go through, look what's there again, and make a final booking, because I think we've got everyone figured out that's going to go. I gotta ask Roger one more time. He finally got back with me, so gotta ask him one more time if he's going to make it or not. But yeah, so there will be a handful of us in the house, Trevor, but some great guys I fished with last year. I need to get a couple
girls to go though.
So looking forward to it.
So you want to go to Minnesota? Going to fish.
Yeah.
Oh, is your wife coming? Yeah. I was gonna say I don't want to be I don't know. I guess I'll be the only one.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think James's wife is coming as well. So looks like there will be a couple wives there. I don't know that any of the other wives are fishing, but okay. Yeah. So definitely fishing the individual event down there. Thinking about fishing the team event as well.
If Teresa goes, I'm teaming up with her. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I can team up with James or Daniel. I know Daniel's interested in it, and so is James. I think everybody's interested in hitting the team event. So, I think that would be a blast. I really think Paul needs to make that. I think Paul needs to make that trip as well. He's talked about it a couple times. I think I need to just talk him into it. That would be fun.
I never thought I would.
Teresa said send her some info. So
it's in July.
Yep.
Yeah. Got to make a.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be an awesome trip. Check out the Kayak Adventure Series. Drew Gregory puts it on. KAS Kayak Adventure Series on YouTube. He gives all the details in his videos.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Daniel said calls dibs on James. Yeah. So Kayak Adventure Series is going to be a blast.
I guess
Paul
a graduation
has to sacrifice that week. Yep, totally understand. Especially, I mean, it's her boot graduation. So, yeah, JT will be there for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. Looks like there's going to be a handful of the Freedom Squad there, so that'll be really cool. Me and Trevor there, of course, and looks like potentially some others. I think Merlin is actually talking about making it. So another Indiana guy. Trying to think, there were a couple others that have commented about it. Of course, all the Achigan guys are going to be there. They're the ones they're the ones, the headline sponsor for that event. So yeah, looking forward to seeing those guys. Debo will be there as well. That's cool. Yeah, definitely be cool to meet some guys. I am doing my best to talk John from Creek Fishing Adventures into going. He talked about seeing that one and thought it looked cool. I just messaged him again the other day and I was like, look, man, you need to hit this event. For those of you that don't follow Kayak Adventure Series, so they have a individual division, a team division, and then they have a micro bag division, which I did really well in the micro bag division. I got third place. I'm still a little salty on not winning that. It was really cool catching small fish and being so excited about them. Like, oh, I just got an 8-incher that eliminated my 9.5. That was a super exciting thing to see your fish be called out on the small side. Like, oh, hey, mine's small. This one's smaller than my last one. And yeah, that was really exciting. John from Creek Fishing Adventures likes catching small fish. He said they just had the event down in Florida. And he said fishing down there and trying to catch small fish was insane. He was like, he worked so hard and ended up catching 2 fish. He said he was catching so many panfish throughout, just trying to get some small fish, and ended up catching 2 and ended up winning the micro bag down there, which is pretty funny. I had been watching the micro bag and seeing nobody post fish to it, and I was like, man, is nobody going to catch one down there that's under 10 inches? And John ended up catching 2 8-inchers. So, yeah, that's fun. I'm going to enter that in Minnesota as well. It's like $25 or $35 to enter it. It's super cheap and it's fun. I mean, if you don't like catching small fish, you may not have fun on it, but it makes catching small fish competitive. So it was a blast.
Might as well just sign up for some online ones this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can do it, you can do
Yeah.
it. So just
Yeah. Sign up for some online tournament. I'm telling you,
I have no business doing it.
I will very much advocate for the Catch 22. I know Jeremy can probably talk on that some more. Catch 22 is an awesome tournament. You know, KBF uses that, and some of the money goes towards veterans. I mean, it's a blast, and it's not very expensive. It's one of your cheapest tournaments you'll ever fish, especially when you consider that it's the entire year. You know, most tournaments you're paying a monthly or a weekly or even a single day tournament. You're paying so much, so each event you pay for again. Yeah, Trevor said he supports Catch 22 as well. Yeah, Catch 22 is an awesome event. Your 22 biggest fish for the year, so you're not competing against everybody else. Like, that's not the way I look at it at all. Catch 22, I'm 100% competing against myself.
Sorry, guys.
Last year I started out and I was like, I would like all of my fish to be over 14 inches. And I hit that where all my fish were 14 inches and bigger. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. Now let's see if I can eliminate them from being 15 inches. I eliminated all the 15 inchers. Unfortunately, the last of the year, I didn't get much time out on the water, or else I would have worked on trying to get rid of the 16 inchers. I think I had 5 fish that were 16 that were under 17. So they were between 16 and 16 and 3/4. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I ended up, like I said earlier, I hit 393 inches. So my competition this year is getting at minimum 394, but I'm going for 400 inches. I mean, you got to hit that next like benchmark. My benchmark is 400 inches, no fish under 17 inches. So yeah, Catch 22 brings awareness to veteran suicide. Yeah, it's awesome. Again, a portion of the money goes to charities. Check out Heroes on the Water. They're an awesome charity. Jeremy knows a lot about Heroes on the Water. I'm not one to tell anybody's story. Jeremy has told his story. Check out some of him and JT's videos on Fishing with Gramps channel. Some great lives throughout there. Again, Jeremy said he's got some internet coming soon, so hopefully he'll be able to jump in on some lives again. Really can't wait to see that. So Wade Life said, big dreams with the tourney trail eventually. Call it a pipe dream, but hopeful. Man, I'm telling you, it is so much fun. Like, I would have never. So I had the opportunity. I fished some catfish tournaments several years back. Was not interested in it even a little bit. Like, had no goals of fishing any kind of competition. Like, to me at that point, it didn't even sound fun. And then started kayak fishing. Really enjoyed kayak fishing and started watching videos of tournaments. And I was like, these look like a lot of fun. And, you know, you think about people being super competitive and people kind of being jerks out there, and you see it in some of the tournament world. Of course, if you watch any media in the tournament world, they're going to highlight the ones that are being jerks, the ones that are getting in each other's way and causing problems. But man, I haven't had that one time in kayak fishing. I've had some people where you go up to them and you can tell that they don't really want to talk to you. They're focused on fishing. That's fine. No problem with that. I'm going to move on. I've had others that when I was out there, especially new to kayak angling, new to tournament angling, really, I had a guy I'll call out, Chris Hogan. Check out Chris Hogan Fishing here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Chris Hogan, I'm out on the water with him. He's a competitor. He had won the previous tournament at my local lake. Talked to him a little bit in the morning. He's seen me carrying all my stuff. Here he's got a kayak cart. He's taking his kayak down there in a kayak cart. Sees me carrying all my stuff, carrying my kayak down, and he's like, hey, man, let me help you. Competitor. He helped me carry my kayak, get it into the water. While I'm on the water, he had told me that day what he had caught his fish on at the previous tournament when he won it, and it was a crankbait. I was like, hey, man, I got a crankbait right here, and I just don't have any confidence in it. I can't get myself to tie it on. Hadn't caught a fish 4 hours into the tournament. He was like, tie on the crankbait. I was like, man, I just don't know. I was like, I've never caught a fish on a crankbait. I get snagged up in the grass. It's not going to be any good. Talked to me for a little while, and then he pulled away. And as he was leaving me, he was like, don't forget to tie on that crankbait. And I was like, okay. So I did. I tied on the crankbait, and within my first 5 casts, I caught my first bass of that tournament. 4 hours of fishing, not a single bite from a bass. Caught my first bass and ended up landing a multiple that day. And it wouldn't have happened had I not tied on that crankbait. I'm 100% positive that would have been the outcome of my day. I would have had a skunk for bass. I caught a bunch of crappie that day, but I would have had a skunk of bass. It just wouldn't have happened. So, being competitive is definitely out there, but there are just a ton of people out there that are out there to help you as well. Paul's going to be kind of mouthy on here. Paul is a great guy. I promise you, if you run into him on the water, he's going to be the first one that's going to help you out. He's going to tell you, what they're biting, or
he's going to tell you get out of my fishing spot.
Yeah, no, that's her. She's going to run you out. Don't come up on her out in the water.
That, ever.
Yeah, Trevor said kayak anglers are some of the nicest competitors out there, and I fully feel that.
I think that's one of the most awkward things about being out there is coming across somebody that you don't know. And you're like, do they want to talk? Do they not want to talk? Are you supposed to wave?
I see Paul just said bully proof. So for those of you that don't know Paul and Hunter, that's their slogan for 2025.
I have no idea
bully proof.
Where that came from. I have never been, I don't think I've been mean to Paul. Hunter, I can't say the same thing, but he deserves it, so it's okay.
Yeah, Wade Life said he's had bass boats cut him off. Yeah, same. I've had that happen as well. Now I've got some great friends that are fishing out of bass boats. Some of them that if I go out tomorrow, I'm going to see one of them out there tomorrow because he's going to be in the boat for the first time out at our local lake. Also,
I did not. Well, maybe I did. It was a joke, though.
Yeah, she threatened him to get out of her part of the lake. She's got her little location. Although it didn't pay off very good for her in the fall.
No, it didn't.
It was a good spring, early summer spot for her, but it didn't pay off so well in the fall.
No, and actually, there's one spot that I want to go, and it's kind of closer to your side, but it's not in your spot, so don't worry.
He doesn't have a spot. Don't say that.
Oh, he has a spot, and I know where his spot is. So just saying, you better be nice. All right, we'll tell it to all of you too.
I won't let it happen, Paul. I'll delete this video. All right, so yeah, we are really looking forward to tournaments kicking off. So exciting. Yeah, I've been like, I'll say the best thing about being in a kayak is going into places the bass boats can't get. Like, that's one of my favorite things. I'm back in spots and I'm catching fish. I remember one of my times, this would have been in 2023 when I first started actually bass fishing. And just like barely into the day, I'm in a spot that I'm shallow enough that the kayak's kind of dragging. And I end up catching it was like an 18-inch fish, which to me was a giant bass at the time, And I hooked that fish right in front of a bass boat, and those guys were struggling. They weren't catching fish. I hooked that fish right in front of them. And at the end of the day, when I was taking my kayak out, they were taking their boat out also. And I was like, I had a really good start to my day. And they were like, yeah, we were right there. We saw you. Like, it makes you feel good when they're in a boat. They've got all their electronics. And at the time I had nothing for electronics, so it was pretty nice.
Teresa asked if
I drove by today, Teresa, and it is opening up. Now I'll say Bluegrass had a lot more ice on it than Loon Pit did. Loon Pit looked pretty open, and the launch area was open, so that's the big thing. I'm gonna go out hopefully tomorrow and check it out. Jeremy said he's going kayak scoping at Bluegrass to find some good spots. Hey man, come out. If you make your way to Bluegrass, you better let me know.
By yourself, but
I will for sure join you out there. I think Jeremy would have fun with us out at Bluegrass. You make your way to Bluegrass, promise you, I'll meet you out on the water. I'll find a way to make it out there.
I'll show you all
no matter what's going on. Yeah. So Yeah, Paul said he has 96 waypoints on Loon
No,
and
Bluegrass is open. It opened up on February 15th.
Yep.
We were gonna actually go out as a fun Valentine's date, but it was
Yeah,
snowy,
we had pretty cool video
snowy.
idea planned for it too, and then yeah, we ended up not getting out. It was yeah. Jeremy said he's gonna come down this spring.
And then we'll come out
seriously can't wait. And we're definitely gonna join you on bogs as well. Look forward to going out there again.
I think there's one of the Kayak tournaments on bogs too, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember the dates though.
And Bluegrass has a series on bogs, or Grubby has a series on bogs this year.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. I know I was looking at some of the dates. But
I want to say I've seen Kayak on bogs as well. So yeah, bogs is a beautiful lake. Also,
I don't think I've ever actually.
A lot of big boats out there for sure, but it's a beautiful lake. It's got some good fish in it. I've seen Jeremy pull out some good ones. The day I fished with him, I think my biggest fish was I think I caught a 15. So nothing huge out there, but
yeah, it's honestly we don't have super huge fish, but it's what's local to us, and we have pretty good access to it. I guess there are big fish, but when I see Florida people pulling out these 10-pounders, I'm just like, oh
yeah, still over 6 inches of ice on most of our ponds and lakes. Said Scott Vermonter said, yeah, that's brutal, man. That's tough. I am so happy to see some open water. We had a lot of days that it felt really nice outside, and we could have went out, and yeah, unfortunately,
I don't think so.
Not a chance.
I don't think there's anybody else from Tennessee on right now.
Yeah, well, so I don't know if he's still on there, but Dad Fish Tackle.
Oh, that's true.
He was on earlier. So Jeremy from Dad Fish is from Tennessee.
Didn't think about
that. And he's one of the main reasons why I made that trip down to Tennessee. So check him out. I know he's up for joining people on the water as well.
Definitely plan on going to Tennessee at some point this year. We just gotta,
If we make it down there, I will for sure be hitting you up, man. And we'll see about trying to get on the water. We got a lot of things planned this year. Several trips. Some of them are more local. Gonna go up and fish with puddle walkers. That's got to be coming up pretty soon. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually hit up Greg from Puddle Walkers pretty soon, because I'm supposed to be joining him for some crappie fishing, and I haven't done any serious crappie fishing in a couple years. So really looking forward to that. Yeah, Greg is awesome.
Super nice.
So helpful. Anytime that I need something, reach out to him. He's there to give me answers. So yeah, great guy. He's the one that gave us the spot. We've got a creek wading video where it was us and the kids, me and her were fishing, and I mean, there wasn't much fishing done that trip. I caught 3 smallmouth, and they were no joke, they were that big.
When your kids are little, you got to go out to do what your kids are going to do.
It was still fun.
It was still fun to try.
So yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, he's the one who told us about that spot, and we're going to join him for some creek fishing and doing some crappie fishing on the creek. That'll be a blast. I'm a BFS guy, so I'll be out there with the BFS rod for sure and working on that. But I just can't wait to get in some crappie again. It's been way too long. Yeah, Paul said he's going to be heading south more this year.
I tried to get Hunter to buy this school bus so we could just take tours everywhere.
Yeah, he sent a school bus, and we've got a group chat. He sent a school bus in the group chat, and Kayla's like, "Is that going to be our travel bus?" I mean, we could fit kayaks on that thing too. Just make a little spot. We could fit the kayaks in there. It'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, definitely. Paul's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to fish with. Stop being hateful to my friends.
He likes it.
All right, guys. I don't have a lot more. We do have some more lives planned out. One of them is going to be fishing with kids. So I know we just kind of spoke on that one. For those of you that don't know, most of you guys do, because most of you guys have been following us for a little while. We have 4 kids. So, and their ages range from 7 to 12. So they're all pretty small. Getting out on the water with kids is tough. Really, getting out and doing things with kids is tough. We're going to talk on that. We're going to talk on why you should. So even when it's tough, you still need to take time and spend time with the kids, especially outdoors. We all know that it's a social media world. I appreciate you guys that are supporting me on social media right now, but we all know it's a social media world, and a lot of people just invest all their time into their phones, into their computers, into their TVs. And a lot of kids are growing up investing their time into that life. I don't want my kids to be in there. I don't want my kids to just spend their whole life on a screen. I want my kids to experience things that I experienced growing up, hunting, fishing, just spending time outdoors. I can't tell you how many times I went just walking through the woods that I grew up on. I want my kids to experience those things. It's tough getting them out there, but it's so worth it when you do. And you got to push through the tough things. But we'll talk a lot more on that on an upcoming episode. So be ready for that. That will be probably not the next live that we do, maybe the one after that, but we've got a few coming up. We will be on Window Fishing's live next Tuesday. It's March 3rd or 4th.
It's March 4th. So I guess surely that's not next week.
That is next week.
Oh my gosh.
So we will be on Window Fishing's live then. So looking forward to that.
Y'all come watch so that.
Yeah, definitely come.
I have my people.
Come
maybe
watch
I
with us,
so
join
nervous.
and chat, get the chat going. She's super nervous. It's not going to be bad. We're gonna have
I don't
a good
know what
time.
we were talking about.
We're gonna have a good
nervous.
time talking with Wendell. It'll be really cool to talk to him. I've talked to him a little bit on the phone, but yeah, looking forward to actually talking to him over the live. It'll be a good time. Dad said, hopefully you'll bring your kayak to Illinois for some fishing this year too. Yeah, that's going to happen. So now that we've got a trailer, it's going to be really nice. Yeah, Jeremy said he'll come over and give Darren a hard time. Yeah, definitely got to do that for sure.
I just don't feel like I should be on a podcast like that because I'm just a total noob. So it just feels really weird to me.
But I think that's the unique thing about having you. I think that's, so for those of you that have been following us a little while, I've got a lot of feedback since Kayla's joined the channel. For a long time, it was just this guy right here. I think people got tired of seeing me. She revived the channel. A lot of people have said that she brings a new dynamic to the channel. I think it's the excitement in seeing somebody that is really new to fishing that people have really enjoyed. You get the perspectives of both of us when we're out kayak fishing together. You get the comedy out of that because there's always some comedy. There's always some banner. And I like to have that in the videos. I like to go through and get where, like, I've got one where she says, do you need help when I'm snagged up on something? And I'm sitting there trying to get it out. And then I go on to her, like, having multiple issues, fish flopping on the kayak and, hanging up on stuff. I mean, she snags up in the trees, like the treetops. and we just have fun. We have a lot of fun with it. We get that fun banter back and forth. I've really enjoyed having her on the water with me. That's going to definitely be a future episode, is again, spending time with your spouse outdoors. A lot of people I know use their time outdoors to get away. I totally understand that. But man, something special about, I feel like our relationship has grown so much throughout kayak fishing together.
Which I have the reasoning
Sounds
behind
crazy,
that, but I can't say that if we're going to have a live.
Yeah, so. Kayak fishing together has helped grow our relationship. Makes me very happy. I really look forward to days on the water with her. I'm probably going to go out tomorrow either way, but I really hope she joins me. It'll be a lot more fun if she joins me. So yeah, that's really all I have. And I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been an hour and a half. So yeah, going to go tuck some kids in, get them ready for bed so they can go to school tomorrow and we can go to work. And thank you guys very much. Yeah. And then hopefully fishing. Wish us luck out there tomorrow. Hopefully we can make a video. Hopefully our next video will be us catching some fish. Thank you guys very much and have a great night.